Hi, this is your girl Annette, and we are back with the 2023 Wear Your Crown Empowerment Series, where women share what they do, why they do it, why it's important, and how other women and girls can stay connected and support them. Today, we have a phenomenal queen all the way from Indiana who is going to be sharing what she does, why she does it, how it's important, and how you can continue to support, like, share, and follow what she's doing. Hello, Miss Simpson. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I am fabulous. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm excited to be here sharing this moment with you. So thank you for having me. How you doing?
Girl, it is my pleasure to see you again. It's been a minute. You know we got to do like our catch up and our run through of everything.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting you in Indiana, and I was super excited and impressed about everything you were doing. So please share with our family and friends what you do and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so like she said, I'm Anjoynae Jimpson. I'm 27 years old, native from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I am the CEO founder of Miss Essence World Elite, which is a pageant system. Thank you. It's a pageant system located here in Indianapolis where we work with women between the ages of 6 all the way up to 45 plus. And our sole mission and purpose is to give women a platform and the opportunity to kind of advocate, find a free space and be able to connect with certain parts of themselves. I feel like as you grow and you go through different things as a woman, heartbreak, death, just trying to find yourself, trying to figure out your purpose, you kind of lose those childlike things that you had as a kid. Maybe you were an artist or a dancer or a writer, and sometimes the struggles of life can cause you to step away from the more intimate and beautiful sides of yourself. So with the pageant, we have all these different categories that the women can compete. And I know talking to some of them, they always say, the weekend of the pageant is like we try to create it and make it be about them because they have to come and stay at the hotel for the whole weekend. They have a very tentative schedule, but they're in their room by themselves. They don't have to worry about a husband, a dog, a dog. Their children. Is strictly about them. So the pageant is really about giving women the opportunity to grow, to find themselves again, connect with their purpose, and connect with other women that are either in the same position they're in or they're women who are business owners and who are really climbing the charge, and then I can learn from her. Or, there's just so many different things that the women get when connecting. And so I'm really excited where Miss Essence can go. It is a challenge. I will say that. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. But however, um, as I closed out our third and fourth competition, I've been just sitting and thinking on how we can make it better, how we can make it stronger, how we can really make a bigger impact, how we can really make the moments that the women are there and the sacrifices they're making when they walk away. I want them to be like, this was worth it. This was worth
Mm,
the headache. This was worth me crying. This was the worth me spending all this money. I want them to feel, because
right.
every time I'm doing the pageant, I'm always stressing like I don't care about how I look. Of course I want to look fabulous, but I'm always like, are the girls having a good time? Are they good? Is this good? And to hear some of the things that they say, good, bad, or indifferent, I definitely take, and I'm like, you know what, next year it's gonna be even better. We're gonna be more this or more of that or less of this and less of that. So it's a great journey. I'm definitely feeling everything, but I'm excited to be doing what I'm doing.
That is awesome. I had an amazing time. And honestly, I didn't know what to expect coming. So you
Mm.
exceeded every expectation that I had for the pageant in Indiana. And it was absolutely fabulous. Like I feel like it needs to be in more places. And in terms of, being a pageant director and understanding that you do want to improve. You do want the
Yeah.
queen to enjoy themselves. You want them to have a sisterhood where they can stay connected and they not only like share what they did, but they share and
Yeah.
connect with other women who may have an interest in building those same lifelong friendships, relationships that they have that weekend that they're
Mm-hmm.
there. Like
Yes.
that is awesome.
Yes, yes. We recently had a meeting with the ladies, just kind of like a follow-up meeting, and we were sitting just talking about a various of things. And one of the things that I loved most when we sat down, they said, "Well, I've been talking to my sisters," and I was just like, it just did something to me because I'm just like, wow, they're really talking. You know, it wasn't a me saying, "Hey, make sure y'all call each other." This was a genuine thing. Like they're genuinely. My dog, I think he's gonna start acting up, but that, yes, come on.
I have one. He does the same thing.
Oh my goodness.
It's
But they,
family.
yeah, he, bless his heart. But they genuinely are connecting with each other. You know, they're genuinely, supporting each other. And even the first group of ladies, I remember I was getting on social media around Thanksgiving last year, and the ladies were getting together at each other's houses for Thanksgiving, or they were going out to eat and having wines. I'm like, that's what it's about, the connections and the opportunities and all the different things that the ladies are getting. So it's a great feeling. It is really a great feeling.
Well, you did an amazing job. What is it like building those relationships, keeping them in the loop, having the movie night, having them decide whether or not they want to order pizza or not, having popcorn, all different flavors of popcorn. I absolutely loved it. It was delicious. The breakfast in the morning, like an amazing experience. I feel like you created an
Oh,
experience for the ladies from them practicing and preparing with the previous queens. Like that in itself is developing amicable relations amongst the
mm,
women and girls among your court. Like win
mm,
or lose, you have queens that are teaching, training, educating, sharing, empowering you, supporting you. Because if you guys have never competed, there's a roller coaster that you go on.
woo,
Like this
say that.
is you putting yourself on stage for people that you don't know typically to judge you to see if you're worth representing a brand that you obviously believe in because you're here competing
Yeah,
and to have to win or lose because I've been in matches where I won and where I lost. And
yes,
it's easy to say, when you lose, you should do this and you can do this. And in your head, you think you're prepared for the winning and the losing, but when it
you're not.
happens,
Not.
your heart takes a step back. Like you didn't say
Yes,
my name.
it does.
You didn't
Yes,
say
it
my
does.
name.
Yes, that is you know, losing is a win within itself because, and I've took a lot of losses, so I can speak on losing. Um, Losing is a win in itself because you get a chance to really look at everything after you cry, after you're angry, and after you do all the little stuff that we do. You really get a chance to look at it. Like if you're really serious about the industry that you're in, whether that's modeling, pageants, dancing, whatever, singing, if you're really serious about it, you really peel those layers back and be like, yo, I really wasn't on my toes in that area. Did
Yeah,
I really deserve to win? Was my heart in the right place? And that's the
yeah,
big thing. A lot of times we compete, and God sees all things. God sees all things. So I can look at you and be phony and laugh and be like, oh, ha, 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 I'm so passionate and all this and that, But if my heart is angry or bitter or spiteful at the next woman, or I'm thinking in my head I'm better than her, am I really in a position to stop? No. Am I really in a position to win and represent something where it's regard about leading women?
right.
So for me, I went through. Come on, come here. I went through different situations. When I win, lost, or draw. When I had to reevaluate my spirit and say, was your spirit in the right place? Did you have the right energy? Are you prepared to even have the sacrifice? Because a lot of people, we think about, oh, the crown is pretty, but are you ready to sacrifice and actually commit to yourself to community service, making
Mhm.
appearance, being devoted, really being committed to the crown? So we have to really, when we lose, we really have to sit back and look at the whole picture. And it's hard. It's so hard, especially when you put money and everything. It's hard. But
Well,
if you
there,
look when
I
you lose,
I feel like everything you said is exactly true. And sometimes it's not your season because this series got birthed out of me losing.
Wow.
This
Okay.
this whole series, I was talking to my mentor, Dr. J, and I was mad. I was how,
Mm,
what? And first you do that
mm,
what did I do? What could I have done better? You do the professional version, but then you be like, but I did. But then you start looking at what you really did. And for my talent,
uh-huh.
girl, I wore basically camouflage pants with a t-shirt, with two tank tops. Even
Uh,
if I sang, twirl the flag, dance, and sing, but I wasn't
uh-huh.
dressed for the part.
Okay.
So it's like little things. And if I didn't give the song, "You're a good soldier, choosing your battle," I was like, it was about the fatigue, the fight, and coming together. But I didn't explain that. I
You
didn't
know,
give it to the announcer to explain that. So if I didn't properly prepare the platform in which
mm-hmm.
I was presenting, then no one's going to be with me. I'm gonna be in my own head the whole time. So between that and it not being your season, because if I would have won this season, I mean this series would have never existed.
Mm-hmm.
But me
Yes.
losing and having that conversation with myself and my mentor, I was like, we all wear crowns, and started looking at all of the phenomenal queens who competed, the queen who won.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I like this. This was everything it needed to be
Yeah.
for me. And it was definitely what it needed to be for the queens that competed that year as well.
Yeah.
And we still keep in touch.
I love that. And what stood out to me, what you just said, was that you got to see the other queens. And I feel like now, being the person that produces and gets the pageant together, I get to see the pageant from a whole different place. Like, when you were talking about the person who won and being your season, like Lindsay Nyland, our first Miss Essence World Elite, she had just lost her dad. Just lost her dad. She was not even in the mood to be doing anything. This is the peak of COVID, so she was not in the mood to do anything, a big death such as your father. So she did the pageant as just like, I just need to do something. I need to
Mhm.
release. I need to find my creativity. I need to find me again. Lindsay is such a phenomenal person when it comes to the art. She's a dancer. She's a model. She's a model coach. She's a chef. Like, she's just layered with talent. And so competing gave her an opportunity to kind of get back to those roots. And so when she was competing, it was a humble thing for her because she wasn't competing for anybody. That's the key. She wasn't competing for anybody else. She was competing for her and competing to find her stuff. And I feel like that is why she excelled in the capacity that she did, because it was a genuine hunger. It wasn't, I'm better than you. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. It was genuinely, I am doing this for me. Come here.
That
Oh my
sentiment,
God.
I feel like, seemed like all of your queens that weekend. They were present, they were supportive, they were runners, they were speakers, they were trainers, they were teachers. They were like, I was just sitting back like,
All of them, Tessa, Victoria, all of them are phenomenal.
amazing. I
Yes,
was like,
all of
your
them have.
team is the bomb.
Oh, thank you so much. They all have friends that complemented each other very well. Lindsay was like the bull, very on it, very, come on, very, focused on what she needed to do. Tessa was like the mother, the lover, the person that encouraged. She was
Yep.
the Victoria was like, okay, let's get in. She was like the hype man. Let's get in. Let's do this. Y'all got it. And just to sit there and see them on the front row when we had the competition, how they were cheering for the girls, and I was like, I just love this. Like, the energy in the room was crazy. This
Yes.
out. So they all are powerhouses in their own right. All of
I
them
agree.
are.
But your backstage hands were
Oh
amazing.
yes, the volunteer.
Like, I was like, how where I was, so I had the chance to talk to everybody. And I was like, so, y'all all know each other? And she was like, no, I met her here at the store. I put something out online and I just met people. Like, yo, when I tell you the spirit must have been all over you and that event, because the way she met some of her support staff that weekend that volunteered, like, was like, you ran into her where? And y'all have this camaraderie already? Like, there are times where you have people and you're like, can you do this? I need you to do this. This needs to be done. And they're like, I did that, or I'm
Yeah.
done, and I don't want like I'm just gonna sit and like hang around. No, they were looking. They was like, okay, that's finished. What else can we do? This still needs to go up. Did you want me to start that? I'm going to go over here. Like, they were proactive self starters. You couldn't tell who was in charge and who was an actual volunteer.
Yes.
I was like, oh, and they had great energy. I was
Yes.
like, I don't know. Yep, it was an
Yes.
amazingly spiritual weekend. Like, more so, I had to sit back a couple of times because I was like, okay, God, you got this. I'm listening and watching
Uh,
everything.
that means so much to me because when you're putting something together and when you're trying to produce something, it's hard to really enjoy the moment because you're so focused on making sure that everything is this, everything is that. So it's
Hmm.
very, very humbling. And I appreciate the fact that you enjoyed the weekend the way that it did. I can only hope that you come back years from now, being that you were there the second year, to see how we progress and how we become better and how we evolve.
No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Did you say the second year? I thought that was your fourth year.
Well, so this is our fourth competition, second year. Yes,
Oh,
we do two competitions a year. So the first year we do state nationals, and then this year we did state nationals. So that was our fourth pageant.
yo, that's amazing. I've been telling everybody, oh yeah, she's been doing this for 4 years.
No, I've been doing this for 2 years. Well, I've been doing
We
I
speaking that. Look, we speaking that. We
yes.
speaking
So,
that.
Miss Essence is actually 3 years old. For our first year, we had spokesmodels because we came into existence in the thick of COVID. So my and I, one of my business partners, co-founder Regina Warren, we used to sit at Panera Bread and discuss everything for the pageant. This was 2019. So 2020, we're going to hit it hard and we're going to do this, that, and the third. And then we're smacked with COVID. So for that first year, we had spokesmodels. We had three different spokesmodels that advocated Miss S off of social media, helped build our brand. We did shoots and photo shoots with them to advertise. Then that next year, or excuse me, in the middle of 2020, in June, that's when we did our first competition.
Wow.
I want to
Wow.
make sure it was 21. Yes, 2021, we did our first competition in June, second competition in November. 2022, we did our third and fourth competition November 4th through the 6th.
Girl, look, I'm telling you. So ours is annual. And I still be like, okay, do we have everything? Is it here? Is it that? Like, you
Oh,
don't feel like we get a chance to I love that you were able to sit because you had such an amazing team of people. Like, I I'm like checking everything, volunteers. And I have some volunteers who are like, Annette, we got this. Go sit down somewhere. Go go over there. But you want to make sure your guests are enjoying themselves. You want to make sure the queens have what they need. If you have performers that are coming through, you want to make sure that they have what they need. They know what time they're coming on. Like,
yes.
you're just moving, and then before you realize it's over. And it's
Yes.
like, it's finished.
Prepare. You prepare for a year for it to be done in 2 hours. That's so crazy. That's
Yes, that
crazy.
part.
So, so crazy.
So what made you start the pageant?
Yeah, so I've been trying to do Miss S since I was 16 years old. 16 years old. This is a true story. So, growing up, I was definitely, the rebellious child. I was very outspoken. I knew what I wanted, how I wanted it, when I wanted it. And unfortunately, as a child, that's just not acceptable at all times because you have to do what is asked of you, you know? So I always would go against the grain. I always had my own opinion, my own way of doing things. And on top of being such a rebellious child, I've always been a plus size girl. And so finding your space and your place, looking for representation. You know, back then we didn't have Lizzo, we didn't have uh, Ashley Graham, we didn't have some of the powerhouses in plus size or the opportunities. Excuse me, my nose is running. I'm sorry. And so now at 27, I really want to provide what I didn't have because I personally feel like I felt all the emotions. I felt sadness. I felt depression. I felt isolation. I felt um, not feeling good enough. I felt not being pretty enough. I felt too dark. I felt too big. I felt too weird. You know, and so with all that being said, and all the trials and struggles I did have, I still had good parents who afforded me a good life. So I was able to see life differently. So now at 27, I'm like, I know there's other women that have been in my shoes, but their
Mm,
upbringing and their are way different than mine. And maybe they didn't have the opportunity to create things like Miss Essence. So I'm going to create it. I'm going to get the platform together. I'm going to pull the people together, and I'm going to give women the opportunity to express themselves because the suicide rate in the Black community is sky high. The suicide rate period is high. The rate of depression and mental health is so high because we don't have anywhere to where we can release and where we can just be who we truly are and find who we are. And so Miss Essence is like my baby. And I was telling my mom around the time my brother passed, his passing just rocked my world in just ways I can't even formulate into words. But I was telling her that I'm sitting here thinking I'm building Miss Essence for, all these women, and Miss Essence is for me. I'm the woman who needs Miss Essence, and so each queen that comes through, whether they win or not, I learn so much from them. I learn so much from them, and they don't even know it. Sitting back and hearing the stories or seeing, because I have my own insecurities, I have my own struggles. A lot of times people may think like she just got it all together and she's doing all this stuff. I struggle so much behind closed doors, and so seeing the women coming from all over and hearing their stories and seeing how they present themselves, it's just so inspiring. I'm like, I need Miss Essence probably more than the people competing. And so it's basically I'm pouring into them, and these ladies are pouring into me, whether that be them critiquing me, saying, hey, this could be better. I think we should have it like this next year because I actually did this and I didn't like how that happened. That makes me
mm,
better. Or them saying you inspired me. This, whatever it is, it's really
yeah.
me as a young woman. And so Miss Essence comes from really, a broken place for me. And so now I'm developing it into a franchise where every woman can come and say, you know what, this is where I struggle, this is where I'm hurt, but this is not going to be the end for me. This is going to be my platform. That's why everybody has to have a platform. So this is my platform. I used to be suicidal, or I used to be this, or I used to be that. So now I'm going to not make it be something that burdens me, but I'm going to make it a blessing and I'm going to inspire other women because I'm not the only one going through it. So that's
Mm.
where Miss comes from.
That is beautiful, very much needed. And the intent, I feel like that weekend was everything. Like we drove, right? So
Yeah.
driving back, like that was probably like half of our conversation. Like, oh my God, this happened there. And she was like, see, and you was worried about this, and you was worried about that. And I was like, I know, man, I can't even stop talking about it. I'm like, oh, we did this, and it was this, and she had that, and oh, it was great.
Oh,
I feel like everything that you set out
hard.
to do, it transcended to me. Now I can't speak for anybody else, but I authentically enjoyed the weekend, enjoyed the experience, enjoyed seeing the backstage assistants and knowing like how much work, time, and
Yes.
preparation goes into, like, you did an amazing job,
Oh my
hands
God.
down.
Thank you. Thank you so
And, uh,
much.
and I know I probably keep saying that, but y'all don't understand. Y'all weren't there, but y'all need to be there next year because she just said it's happening again. So you need to keep an eye out for Miss Essence World Elite in
Yes,
Indianapolis, Indiana.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
how do we follow you? How do we keep in touch with you? And how do we find out about the pageant?
Yes, so currently we are giving our queens a break. Of course, we're having, meetings behind the scenes to prepare them for their reign come next year. But we want to give them a break to enjoy time with family. So you won't be seeing too much from them the remaining of the year. However, we will be posting pictures from the competition. And so you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and on TikTok at Miss Essence World Elite. You can follow my personal page, Anjoynae Jimpson. That's Anjoynae Jimpson. You can follow me on Instagram at Little Joy Jimpson. And if you are interested in competing in the pageant, make sure you follow both pages, but also check out our website. That's www.missessenceworldleague.com. You can look at all the cool stuff we've done. And we really, 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 really have some exciting stuff for next year. So make sure you follow us, keep in touch, and we hope that you might be one of our contestants next year. So give Miss Essence a chance. We are looking for ladies as we speak. You can definitely register. We already have an interest group set up on Facebook. So we are accepting girls now. So if you're interested, please send me a personal DM and we can get you added.
Okay, you heard it. She said you can go to MissEssenceWorldElite.com. Is that correct? Okay,
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
put it in the comments. Now, if you're watching us on YouTube, it'll be at the bottom underneath this video. If you're watching us on Facebook, it's above. And if you're watching us on Instagram or hitting the link on Instagram, it's to the right of us or the left. Either way, it's there. So make sure you hit the link, register, find out. And guess what? If you're like, you know what, pageants just aren't for me, that's fine. Come and support the queens that are competing. You will have an amazing time. I totally did. We did some dancing. We did some strolling. We definitely did some cheering, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I listened to some of my videos from that show. You couldn't hear a thing. They
Oh,
was like, and be quiet. No, I'm not. Even though now watching the videos, I wish I was because
oh,
I can't now pull the video because you can't hear nothing but me screaming.
that's how you know you had a good time. 'Cause there was no shame. You had no shame. You are in your element. That's how you know it was a good time.
So I got on my own nerves listening to the.
Oh my God, I've been there. Oh, I've been there. That is so embarrassing, but that's okay. Okay.
And I totally understand now why they were like, Annette, we can't hear, we can't see. And then when I got excited, apparently I was jumping, it was shaking. I was like, I don't remember doing any of this, but I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm glad you had a good time. That means I'm glad to hear from a participant, a person that was in the audience, that you had a great time. That makes me happy.
I did. So you guys heard it here. We have Anjoynae. Am I saying that correctly? Anjoynae,
So it's like it's on joy name.
Anjoynae,
Yep.
Anjoynae Jimpson. She is the pageant director for the Miss Essence World Elite competition in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you are interested in holding a state title, you can hit her up on MissEssenceWorldElite.com. The links are below. Please be sure to like, share, and follow her. And if you're interested in competing, register. The queens in Indiana, actually, all the queens are amazing. But these ladies, it was such an honor meeting them. Anjoynae, is there anything that you would like to share? How can people like, share, or support the pageant moving forward?
So there's various ways you can support. So like Miss Annette was saying, if you're like, I'm not a pageant girl, there's so many ways you can get involved. So if you don't want to do the actual pageant, we have optional categories. And the optional categories, you could do the community service competition where we give girls opportunity to either make like a poster board, a PowerPoint or some type of sketchbook to highlight all the things that they do in the community. We have a community not community sir. We have an essay competition where we give out a essay question, and you have to formulate an essay about that. It's normally about current event or something about yourself or individuality. We have a runway competition if you're into modeling, but you're not a pageantry. Maybe you be in the runway competition. So there's so many different things. That part is only $35. Or if you don't want to do none of that, you can be a volunteer. We love volunteers. We love people who want to come out and get involved. You could be a vendor if you're an entrepreneur and you sell perfume, or you have your own makeup line, or you sell hair. We're all about supporting businesses, so we would love to have you as a vendor. You want to purchase an ad. So there's all different ways you can be a part. And if you would like to connect with us, you can send us an email at info.missessensofIndiana@gmail.com, and we can discuss further how you would like to move forward if you would like to be a part of Miss Essence.
That is awesome. I did not realize that anyone can compete for the individual, um, the Miss Runway, the essay. That is awesome. Did y'all hear that? So they have like 5 additional categories where if you don't want to be in the entire pageant,
Mm-hmm.
there are 5 other options that you can compete in. Make sure you check out
Yes.
the site. Keep an eye on what's coming up next. Do you have a link or something for people or individuals who may want to sponsor the pageant? How can they do that?
Yes. So if you would like to become a sponsor for Miss Essence World Elite, please send us an email at the info.missessenceofindiana@gmail.com. From there, we can give you our sponsorship package, or we can even set up a meeting with our board to discuss how you would like to move forward and what capacity you would like to be a sponsor. So we would love for you to reach out to us via email, and we will take it from there.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much, Queen, for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having. Here's my dog who's been acting up. He's now quiet.
Girl, my baby is huge. Hold on. Come here, Ben. Girl, he is so big. And I know when I oh, is he asleep? Girl, my baby is asleep. I'm
I
going
wish
out.
he's acting up.
I'm ready to go
Uh, I know that's right.
out. Look, yes. Oh, but they are family, and that should be a whole nother segment. Queens and their pets or their
Oh,
babies. Girl.
yes. Yes. I'm ready to go take
Well,
a photo.
ladies, this is the 2023 Wear Your Crown Empowerment Series for women and girls, intended to inspire women and girls into their purpose by hearing from queens like Anjoynae Jimpson from Indiana, Indianapolis, who is the pageant director of the Miss Essence World Elite pageant. It was a phenomenal experience. If you're interested in competing or you just want to go and check it out, join us next year in Indianapolis, Indiana, because we'll be back.
Yes, and I just want to say I'm the founder. Our director is the fabulous Latoya Smith. That's our director. I'm the founder. I want to where credit's due. Yes.
Oh, my founder. Look, check her out. She is doing fabulous things, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me here. I look forward to connecting with you, and you guys have a blessed evening.
Bye.
Bye.